Have you ever heard the old sayings, whispered by elders in remote mountains? Ancient texts like the *Viet Chronicles of the Spirits mention a strange belief. A pig that lives 3 years, if it does not taste human flesh, it shall never be full. A chilling thought, right? But in the forgotten southwestern hills, a darker saying lingered like a curse: when the pig forgets the ways of men, the men will learn the soul of the pig. These words echoed in my mind as I arrived at a village swallowed by mist and silence. Here, the tale of a pig that craved human flesh had long been buried under the weight of fear. I'm here to uncover that story. Our story begins under a crescent moon, sharp as a sickle. Its pale light sliced through the cracks of a rotting wooden pen. Inside, a pig lay awake. For 3 years, it had lived a simple life. But tonight was different. Its small eyes, once dull, now shimmered with something disturbingly human, a glimmer of thought, of a terribly growing hunger. It did not sleep. Its gaze was fixed on the dim outline of the house nearby. Inside, the farmer, old Trong, snorted, deeply exhausted from a long day. The night was filled with only 2 sounds: the slow rumble of the man's breathing and the wet, rhythmic snorts of the pig. The air was thick with the stench of damp straw and filth. But beneath it crept another scent, faint yet intoxicating: the salt of human sweat, the warmth of living flesh. Slowly, the pig rose. Its hooves pressed into the straw with an eerie silence, as if it had learned to walk without a sound. It approached the low fence and nudged a decaying plank with its snout. A soft creak broke the stillness. The pig froze, its heart thudding against its ribs. Through the faint moonlight, its pupils glowed, black and reflective, like pools of oil. What stirred inside was not mere curiosity. It was recognition, an ancient instinct, clawing its way back to life. The pig imagined it. The pulse fluttering beneath the farmer's neck, the hot gush of blood, the tearing of flesh, the sound of bones cracking between its powerful jaws. A thick string of drool slid from its mouth, splattering onto the dirt, gleaming faintly under the moon. Its breathing deepened, heavy and wet. The stale feed and wilted vegetables it was given every day now felt like a mockery. Something older and crueler had awakened. It remembered the taste. Months ago, a landslide had uncovered bones from an old, forgotten burial ground. While rooting through the freshly turned soil, the pig found what it should never have found: the brittle snap of a human bone, the forgotten sweetness of marrow, the lingering salt of blood long dried. Since that night, the hunger never left. It became a constant, gnawing presence. Now, as moonlight wrapped its body in cold silver, it felt that hunger consuming it completely. It pressed the fence, again harder this time. Asterisk, creak, asterisk. Inside the house, the farmer stirred, mumbling something in his sleep, then went still. The pig's body trembled, not with fear, but with anticipation. And then it lunged. A thunderous crack split the silence. Splinters flew. The pen collapsed in a cloud of dust and straw. From the wreckage emerged a creature transformed. It was no longer just a pig, not quite a beast, but something that had remembered the taste of sin. The cool night air bit at its skin. The smell of human life drifted from the wooden house like a siren's call. The pig's bristles stood on end. Moonlight glazed its body in a pale, ethereal light, turning it into a monstrous silhouette, glowing red, steam rising from its nostrils. It began to move. Step by step, it crossed the yard. The sound of its hooves on the dirt mixed with the whisper of the wind through the bamboo fences, creating a dreadful, rhythmic march across the hills. At the doorway of the farmhouse, it stopped. The farmer's wooden house stood in silence, a thin line of moonlight spilling across the floor. The pig's massive head blocked the glow, casting a terrifying shadow into the room. Its breath rolled in, hot and fetid, carrying the smell of the pen and something deeper: decay, hunger, and inevitability. Its red eyes scanned the sleeping man, from his feet to his throat, pausing at the pulsing skin over his neck. A low growl built deep within its chestnut, the harmless grunt of a barnyard animal, but the sound of something that had lived too long in the dark, waiting for this moment. The farmer's eyes snapped open. At first, he thought it was a nightmare. The shape at the door was just a shadow, broad and unmoving. But then, the shadow breathed. He saw them the eyes, two glowing orbs, wet and red. Watching him without blinking, the air in the room thickened, becoming heavy and suffocating. His body refused to move. He wanted to scream, but the sound curdled in his throat, a silent, choked horror. He recognized the creature instantly, and yet not at all. It was his pig, the same one he had raised for 3 years, the one he fed, bathed, and cursed at when it refused to eat. But there was nothing of that simple creature left now. The eyes that looked back at him were empty of recognition, filled only with a thoughtless, all-consuming hunger, the kind of hunger that stares back from the abyss. The pig lowered itself, muscles tensing beneath its bristled hide. The floorboards groaned under its immense weight. A soft squeal of air slipped from its throat. The farmer's hand twitched, a desperate, futile gesture toward the axe he kept by the door. Too late. The silence stretched thin, humming like a taut string about to snap. Outside, the wind stopped. The crickets fell silent. The moon seemed to hold its breath, a lone witness in the sky. No one in the village heard exactly what happened next, or if they did, they pretended they hadn't for the rest of their lives. Some claimed they woke to a sound like heavy wood breaking. Others swore they heard laughter, a horrifying sound that began like a squeal and ended like a human scream. By morning, the valley was still, deathly still. The pig pen lay in ruin. The farmer's house stood open, its door swinging gently in the morning breeze. It was empty. On the ground outside, the villagers found 2 sets of prints, one of human feet, one of orbs, side by side, then mingling, twisting, until they became one horrifying trail that vanished into the wilderness. They buried what little they found. It was unrecognizable, flesh-torn, but, strangely, not eaten, as if the creature had changed its mind. 4 nights afterward, the dogs in the village barked without reason at unseen terrors. The bamboo groves whispered secrets, even when the wind was still. And on certain nights, when the moon curved thin and pale like a bone, some swore they saw something large moving at the edge of the field, standing on 2 legs. Its head bowed low, breathing softly, almost humanly. No one in that village ever kept pigs again. When the children, born long after, asked why, the elders would tell them the same warning, their voices trembling as though the words themselves carried a dreadful weight. 3 years, and it forgets its feed, but it never, ever forgets the taste of flesh. Then the wind would rise soft and fierce. Then, sharper carrying with it, the scent of wet soil, of rust, of something long dead yet never truly decayed. And if you listened closely in that liminal hour between night and dawn, you could almost hear it. A breath, a snort, a whisper between worlds. The echo of a bond older than man and beast, bound forever by hunger and the moonlight that remembers everything. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the shadows of folklore. If you enjoy stories that explore the darkness that lies just beyond the firelight, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the edge of the map. Stay curious and stay safe.